Ricky,
What's
we are
up?
live, man. We're live.
Live.
All right, look, man. It's November 4th, 2021. We're a month away from C-Band, and they did us dirty today, dog.
Well, not totally.
Yo,
They blew up something that was nothing.
You know how we do it on the SMT. The first thing we got to do is we got to welcome back Ricky. Ricky, welcome back to the podcast, man. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been on. Absolutely.
It's been a while. It's good to have you back. We're going to be talking cellular networking. We're going to be talking standards. We're going to be talking about T-Mobile 5G leadership. You love that. I know you do.
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
Bubbling. I'm bubbling so much. I'm going to do a magenta fart. I'm bubbling so much.
You know, every time Ricky says
I'll
that,
try to hold back as much as I can, but I can't promise anything. I'm already getting cramps right now.
We got to get like a cartoon animation of a skunk that comes across the
Yeah, exactly. Skunk ache's coming.
Oh, man. Let's welcome the people. You know how I do, Ricky. I always welcome everyone, and I like to make people feel special. So, Barry, appreciate you for coming through. Keon is here. We got Joe. We got Big Term in the house. What's up, buddy? Chame is here. He's not liking him some FAA. Bunch of crybabies.
Yeah, the whole problem is FFA.
Yeah. Kazi, what's going on, sir? Good to have you. Appreciate you reaching out to me earlier today. Thank you for that. Yeah, we'll talk about it, Keon. I'll explain. There is no fear. C-Band is here. All right. So, yeah, it won't. It's not going to be what I think some of you fear it's going to be. Yeah. So,
it's not a big deal. People blew it up for nothing.
David is here, but we do have to address it so we can clarify. So,
well, yeah, absolutely.
David is in the house. We got Anthonius. We got Zeke. Appreciate you guys for coming through. We got Big James. What's up, sir? The homie Zero Cool is in the house. Let's get the party started. Yeah. Who else we got here? I know we got a few more. I'm getting there. It did the jumpy thing again. You know how it is, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing the jumpy thing. The homie Mike
West
is here.
But they didn't fix that crap.
No. Josh is here.
I seen they raised the price.
Oh, so they didn't fix what they should have, and they still raised the price.
I was looking at that. $50 for
StreamYard on that turdness right there.
What?
That's what that is. All right, what else? And we got Jay. Glad you could tune in, man. I know you're probably at work.
There's P.
Why are the comments off on your T-Mobile 3G turn-off video? I'll tell you why. When I look at the testimony from Neville Ray, and he says we're going to take up to 3 years to transition the network and shut down 3G. And then it says in an amendment statement, we may require longer to even shut it off. And we will continue to broadcast the 800 megahertz. Or is it 850? It's 800. The band 26-800. What is it?
Raccoonery buffoonery.
He testified several times that, and then Dish agreed to it. Everybody signs off on it. Now they want to accelerate the shutdown. It is a deliberate, intentional, direct, just stabbing in the back of Dish. Because the agreement is there. They asked Neville Ray, do you need the PCS that's 3G? Do you need it for your 5G right now? He said, no, I need 3 years. I won't need it. You made your bed. Lie in that shit. Just lay down.
It's all about money.
We got Joey. So my point is this, Jay. I don't want to hear it from anyone. I don't want 3G operational. That's T-Mobile's fault. They they testify. I didn't do this in court. If it was me in court, I would have said January 1st, I want to shut down the 3G network. There would have been a date. It would not have been any type of convoluted interpretation. I would have said January 1st, 2022. But see, I'm a deliberate person, and I don't play games with people. You see that's the difference between me and them.
Absolutely.
If I tell somebody I owe them $100, let me borrow 100. I'm giving them 100 back, not 99.5. None of that nonsense.
T-Mobile shady coming back on their word.
You need to always follow through on your word.
That's right.
Because if you don't do that, you have nothing. There's no goodness. There's no trust. There's nothing. No business ethics. And you know what's crazy, Ricky? in business, you can say and do whatever you want, and it's just business. I don't live like that. Because I come from a place where your word is everything. And that goes with you wherever you go. You become known as a liar, a cheater, and a thief.
Mm-hmm. You're right, Isaiah. T-Mobile is jealous because Dish is going to kick their ass.
Okay, so they're saying that there is an echo. So let me go ahead and just pop out and pop back in.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to reset my connection, my audio connection. Give me 1 second.
I wonder if Neville Ray is ever going to have a job after this issue. I don't know. I don't know how Neville Ray is actually still a part of that, because he is just stupid is, stupid does. Zero Mobile. I feel like Neville Ray is being puppeted.
All right, Ricky, is we still getting the echo, or is it gone?
Oh, I don't hear no echo. It's probably the people on there hearing the echo. It's probably feeding back through my mic. Is probably what it is.
All right, let me know if the echo's gone. There really shouldn't even be one, but I don't know. Hopefully it's gone. Anyway, man, before I start, echo's still there. Ricky, do me a favor.
I'm going to turn my mic down a little bit. I don't know if I can do that. Or turn on the echo cancellation.
Oh, the echo's gone? Okay. All right. Kazi says it's gone. Okay.
Yeah, I turned on echo cancellation. Okay. There we go.
I was going to say,
that wasn't enabled on here.
Let me check mine, just in case. I don't want this to linger. Yeah, mine is on. Echo cancellation.
My Bluetooth's not working on my my laptop, so
all right.
I have you on speaker here.
All right, Ricky. So here's the situation, Bretta. The C-band situation, they're going to want to address this first. It's not a big deal. Yeah. Sounds good still. Okay. All right, so C-band gets this unofficial delay. It was supposed to launch December 5th. The carriers paid to have it accelerated in its repack, going from satellite to terrestrial cellular. All right, so what, Intelsat, all those companies that were doing broadcasting TV over satellite, right?
Yep.
They accelerate the repack process. Verizon pays, AT&T pays. It was like $10 billion to accelerate it. And that's just, and we're talking about Block A, Ricky, right? So that means Block B and C are down the line 2023. All right, so like a year and a half from now or whatever. What is it? Dang, we're already down to what, like 11, 12, 13 months. So they paid extra money to have this stuff accelerated for its repack. All the satellite operators, they met the deadline by June. I was just reading back an old article that I had bookmarked on my browser. They met the requirements, so it's been ready. It's been the carriers that have had to deploy hardware, right, and do some testing, go through the protocol that the FCC requires. The carriers have done studies on C-band. T-Mobile did a study. Verizon did a study. AT&T did a study. Echo is... Hold on, is there really an echo, or is it gone? Anthony, is there an echo, or... Ricky, do you hear an echo?
I don't hear no echo, no.
The echo is still there.
If I mute my microphone, maybe you'll...
A slight echo. It comes and goes. How is that possible?
I'll just mute my mic, and then it'll probably take care of it. Just say so.
Hold on. I got rid of my headphones. Is the echo still there? Now it's gone. It was my headphones, or?
And now it's back, right?
No. Someone needs to turn down the volume. Dude, my volume is pretty far down.
If my mic is on, it's echoing back through you. So I just need to mute my mic when you're talking.
Oh, echo is coming from Ricky's end. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just mute my mic.
Let me just do this quick little sound check here. Okay, I think we're good now. Maybe my mic was too loud when it restarted. Okay, we're back. We're good. It's Ricky's mic for sure, but it's in and out. Okay, then yeah, Ricky, I think it is when you mute your mic and then it's gone. Okay, all right. Anyways, okay, so
Yeah, I was on mute, so when I unmute it, your sound's coming back through. Yeah. Nope. I'll just mute it.
all right, so the whole C-band situation, the carriers have already got all their studies done. They've done all their testing. Shit's about to go live. We're literally a month away. It's 11/4 right now. Who knows whenever the people are listening to this. We're a month away. Ricky has a hypothesis, which I think could legitimately be the case. I think there's a strong case for it. And Verizon and AT&T are playing nice. They told the FAA, cool, we'll postpone it and we'll work through some things. Here's what I think is going on, Ricky. After speaking to some in engineering and after looking at all the facts laid out, it looks to me that the operators of the altimeters, this is all a ploy. They don't want to pony up the money to pay to have the modifications done to their transmitters to have the frequency turned up to go from 4.2 to 4.4. By the way, and that's what
It's not
engineering told me.
necessary.
Okay, but I'm sure there's some safeguards, including filters as well as that modification. But the other piece to this, Ricky, is the fact that Block A is the lowest frequency block of C-band. It's 3.7 gigahertz, right? So why are they worried about Block A at 3.7 gigahertz when blocks B and C are closer to 4.0, right? They're at up to 3.9. And even then and still, with that space, there's 220 megahertz of guard band. And we have some countries that are using C-band with 100 megahertz of guard band. We have more than double that guard, and they're talking about interference. Do you guys see how this all smells fishy?
It's a bunch of bullshit. That's what it is. That website that posted that is nothing but a troublemaker. They like posting crap like that just to get attention, to get people to go and read their site and everything. They blow everything up out of proportion. The whole thing is with this thing is there's no problem. There's no problem. The carriers took it on to leave the switch off. They're still installing C-band every day. They're still installing equipment. It's business as usual. Upgrades are continuing. There's no delay in C-band deployment. There's no delays. The only thing they're doing is they're not going to flip the switch to activate the towers for 30 days just to make the FAA a little happy and test things a little bit more. That's all this is. And then this bulletin that the FCC put out is geared for the phones on the planes. I posted in Twitter today. It's about the phones. Make sure the phone is in airplane mode, so when your C-band tries to connect to a tower,
no interference.
It's not going to cause interference.
Right.
And here's the other thing. If your crap that you got on your plane is made in China and don't have the proper filtering in it, who the hell's fault is that?
The operator, the vendor.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's not the carrier's fault. So if they got unshielded crap and it's causing interference, it's their fault. So this is all blown up. It's not a big deal. It's upgrade as usual. They're just going to delay flipping the switch on, which it doesn't matter. I mean, look what T-Mobile did when they launched their fake 5G. They upgraded one tower. They skipped 6 towers. They upgraded a tower, and they was activating them as they were going along doing upgrades. AT&T and Verizon, when they do upgrades, when they do something new, they'll go to a whole market, and they'll put everything on every tower, and then they'll flip the switch, and it's like, there you go. They don't half-ass things like T-Mobile does.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is overblown. I think the entire C-band story from today was pretty stupid. But you know what's awesome, Ricky? You know what I did?
What you did?
I took advantage, man. All the share prices, all the stocks dropped, and I
Oh, there
bought.
you go. There you go.
And
Get some.
I bought Skunk Mobile. I bought
What?
Yeah, I bought
You
Skunk.
damn traitor.
I bought Dish. I bought Verizon.
You're gonna lose your ass on Skunk Mobile. You're gonna be left holding a stinky bag.
I bought a little bit of everything, dog. I took advantage. Everybody's share price went down, and I went ham. I brought my money bags, dog.
Somebody in Twitter today threatened to send me a T-Mobile shirt. I said,
Yeah.
send it. I'll burn it live.
Come on, Ricky. You got to rock it on Friday nights, man, and Saturday nights.
I'll torch that thing right in the driveway.
Damn. All right. So, for everybody who's got their panties in a bunch about the C-band, I think it's just business as usual. Expect, okay, so it's not December 5th. Expect it January 5th. I don't know.
Yeah, the FCC even called it like they even said crap. Yeah, look what it said on Phone Scoop. Phone Scoop actually put the article out right and actually put that clause in there about the FCC saying that it's not even an issue.
There's so much guard band. There's so many ways to reduce and eliminate the interference.
And it's not the towers, it's the phones on the planes.
Which has been an issue for a long time. They always tell you to airplane mode your phones.
That is exactly right.
Until they go like a certain height or whatever.
Yeah, it's just takeoff and landing is the main issue.
Because the altimeters, they have to gauge the distance for its landing.
Yeah, exactly. And that service bulletin that the FCC put out for the pilots just said, if you get some crazy readings, just assume that maybe somebody has their phone turned on and is trying to connect to C-band.
It's automated anyways. Don't they land automated?
Yeah, it uses part of that technology. So if it screws up, yeah, it can nosedive the plane right down on the ground. But hopefully the pilot's smart enough to say, oh, it's going down, and grab the
manual control.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, take care of it. I mean, there is procedures in place. And that is what has been the fault of many pilots in the past. They're relying on too much on technology instead of relying on what you're looking out the window and what you're feeling. It's just, you don't fly blind. You don't close your eyes and say, okay, instruments, tell me what's going on. No, you don't do that.
Well, those sensor technologies and everything is always their fail-safes, their backups, their redundancies. It's never the primary, like I still to this day think people should be landing planes and not the automation, it's just in case.
Yeah, and actually, I don't think there's even a case anywhere in the world of a phone actually taking a plane down.
I've never heard of one.
And look, 5G on C-band, on all those C-bands, has been out for a couple years now, right?
Years,
because everybody but the USA did it right. Of course, USA has to do fake 5G low band first. Well, these other countries, they said, oh, we're going to do mid band because that's where it's at, and they were smart and they did it. It hasn't brought no planes down yet, so no problem. In
Europe, I hear they're actually transmitting C-band at a higher power than we are.
Yep, exactly.
So I guess it's I think it's a logarithmic scale, the way that the power levels work. So if you guys are familiar with like pH and stuff like that,
it's how many watts per megahertz is how they do it now. It's spectral efficiency. Caleb can coach us in on all that good stuff, since he's the big engineer.
Gellert Gaming, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to email me, man, and I'll get you a link to the Patreon, to the Discord. I got to get one of my mods to get you a link. So just email me, sneedmobiletech@gmail.com.
So many questions in the chat.
You want to address some, Ricky?
Oh, I don't know. There's just so many of them. I don't even know where to start.
Let's see. What do we got? I'll just scroll through and see if I could find something. Lavendi wants some chafta and fatouche tonight. He's hungry. Hashtag ravioli gang, man. Yeah. What else? Gaming, send it to SMT Discord at Proton Mail. There you go, buddy. Yep. There you go. I heard T-Mobile N41 is getting 1,400 megabits in Santa Clarita, Florida.
Deception and lies.
What did they expect, Ricky? What did they expect? They thought they were gonna get away with that
I
one.
mean, when you put your priority, your number one priority on your network on all speed testing apps and stuff, so that when all these what all these I don't even remember all the names. All
Ookla,
these
Open Signal.
yeah, Open Signal and Ookla and all this shit that comes out saying that T-Mobile was number one. It's all a bunch of raccoonery buffoonery.
Because the thing is, you'll run the speed test and get a whole bunch of speed, and then you'll do a live stream, and it'll cut off.
Exactly.
So
Look how many times you streamed, color streamed. I tried to stream at CES. Yeah, and then I did a speed test that said I was getting 500 down and like 200 up. It's like, what?
yeah, and my bigger problem, Ricky, is the handoffs are bad here in my market, really bad, site to site. Like I was at the gym the other
Yeah,
day.
well, T-Mobile has no density and they have no overlapping coverage.
I
You go
guess they
from
have
one
it.
site,
They
you
have
go
it good in
red,
urban, Ricky.
and that's it. You get
I
cut
hear
off.
they got it.
Yeah.
I hear they got it good in urban, like New York City. They've got good tower density, and Chicago and other big towns. It's the the spaced out issues that they have in rural and suburban. Without small cells, it's hard to do.
Yep, small cells are important, especially with mid-band, because you got to have that overlap. And low band is complete trash. The only good low band was for is LTE. We're beyond that. We're now in the 5G. So
Just leave the LT, just leave the low band on LT, Ricky.
that's what they should have did. They should have upgraded mid-band to 5G and just leave low band for LTE. And then of course, AT&T Verizon is going to do those small cells in between to do the density. And that's the way to do it right there. Because you can't put a macro in between macros. It's just too much money. It's a lot cheaper.
Not even just the money, Ricky. You'll get bad interference. There'll be a ton of noise.
Well, that too. Well, when you go higher in frequency, you can reuse the frequencies more. So
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good
So it'll be
thing.
less of an issue. Yep. But I've
Yeah, but
noticed
when
that
you're
with.
beaming N71 30 miles,
Does that really happen?
no. You can receive it if you're up in a plane 30 miles away, maybe.
Yeah, to hell with that nonsense.
Deception and lies.
You remember when the first story broke out about the 65 miles of
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I was
saw
watching
that.
some of our live streams we did a year ago when we was talking about the fake 5G and the fake maps. Man, those were some good times.
Okay, so the N71 going 65 miles. Dude, you know how many users would be on that channel if it was going like you would?
That's right. Yeah, it'd be just nothing but white noise. Well, it wouldn't be white noise. It'd be magenta noise.
That would be. It's asking. The name of the game in 5G is going to be densification. You need
Yes.
sites very often. Like if you're driving to work, you should be. Your RSRP should never drop below like the 90s. Like it should always and it should be mid-band to mid-band. Like that's how tight the tower grid's going to be for the best carriers. Because what you can then do is you can manage the traffic better. This is why I feel so strongly about millimeter wave. I know not everybody likes it, but I honestly feel like those people
It
don't.
has its purpose.
Well, Ricky, the thing is, wherever they put it, it pays dividends. Like you can monetize it very easily. So if you've got a node, you can literally point it at homes, put up the gateways into Windows and use receivers, repeaters, all these
Yeah.
technologies that are coming,
Exactly.
and you
Pivot
can sell
5G
home
and
internet.
Echo.
And you could sell home internet to those people. Plus, it's also offloading LTE and low band traffic, right? And even mid band traffic.
Yep. Meanwhile, T-Mobile's beaming their home internet 5G through the windows of these people, and it's really LTE, calling it 5G because it's fake 5G, and it's causing more congestion on the network because people on their phones trying to use it, and people are using it in their house, and it's just bogging it down.
Let's do some predictions, Ricky.
Oh, no.
At the time of the launch, it's going to be 40 megahertz of C band and 77 for AT&T. It's going to be 60 for Verizon. What do you think is going to be typical expected speeds on those N77 channels?
Well, right now, I mean, I just did it. I posted a speed test. I think it was last night on Verizon. I got 200 down with 30 megahertz. That's LTE plus. And
So the
you consider if they deploy the C-band right and use at a minimum 64 by 64 and use massive MIMO, you can get 30% efficiency out of 5G. Yeah. So you can just do that. That 30 megahertz there, instead of being 200 down, what's 30% more of 200?
260.
Yeah, so it's a little bump.
But it's going to be a wider channel too. It's not going to be 30 megahertz. It's going to be 60. Plus the LTE that's going to be used in NSA. So you're going to have an additional 15 AWS or whatever, PCS, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it just drives me crazy. I see these speed tests. People are on like the ultra capacity on here. They got 100 megahertz of ultra capacity 2.5, right? And they show the speed test of like 5, 6, 700. It's like, I'm not impressed at all. Especially when it shows a ping of 30. Well, that's an LTE ping. And that much spectrum. Can you imagine if Verizon did 100 megahertz?
Well, the way they're looking at it, Ricky, is what they had before. You know, that's...
Well, it's always, yeah, I guess when you're going from turtle speed to rabbit speed, you're jumping up and down.
Yeah, exactly. Your baseline is whatever it was before. So if you were seeing...
1 megabit down, half
well,
megabit up.
If it was that bad, then you're like, oh, man, this new N41 is great for me. You know?
That's exactly right, because they're thinking, oh, that 5G symbol, oh, my God, look at that, look at that. Meanwhile, AT&T and Verizon, where it's not congested, well, AT&T don't have any, but look, I mean, I'm getting 300 down on LTE Plus with AT&T with 45 megahertz.
They have very good backhaul.
And 5 carrier aggregation.
They have very good backhaul. They've got solid carrier aggregation. They have a lot of newly upgraded sites, so the gear is good. And they optimize pretty well, and they densify pretty well. They do need... I do think AT&T needs to increase their small cell deployment. Like what they're doing with C-RAN is good, so they'll continue. Because that's what Verizon has in spades. Verizon has a good macro grid. Their small cell focus, I think, is fantastic. So
There's
when I look
Carlos.
at a... Oh, Carlos is here. What's up, Los? Yeah.
You know what UC stands for, right?
Everybody's coming up with their own rendition, man.
That's called ultra castration.
This live stream is not suitable for 18-year-old anybody under the age of 18.
Oops. You know me, I don't hold back.
Yeah. Well,
I'll try not to get you in trouble.
Well, the thing is, Ricky, is I have seen people have shown them to me. Ping times dropping into the teens. You know, they've shown me 850 megabits down, 150 up. So there are
Still
some
fake
places.
5G.
Right, Ricky, but the performance is good. You know, it's not
Yeah,
it's
that's
not the
LTE.
end game.
See, that's what people don't understand. If you're not hitting at least a gigabit down and under a 10 ping, you're not even reaching 5G specs yet.
Right, but Ricky, what I'm saying is if we leave the icon alone, we're network tech enthusiasts. Just push the icon out of it. Let's just assess and evaluate the performance. It's better than it was.
I like that comment. Mommy, what's castration?
But you get what I'm saying? We were coming from, 100.
Don't climb no 5G towers. You won't find out.
We were coming from 100 or 200 megabit N71. Now we're seeing 5-6 times the capacity. And hey, Ricky, come on, man. Let's call a spade a spade. There are people that are out in the middle of rural America with DSL options, 25 megabits per second. And T-Mobile Home Internet's giving them 100, 200, 300 down. Life is good.
Yeah, enjoy that LTE.
So Ricky's caught up in the name. He's not going to let it go.
I ain't going to let it go.
But we do have to acknowledge that their average speeds have increased tremendously, and they've done a good job of upgrading the sites, at least. We could say that much. And they're starting to upgrade backhaul.
I don't deny there's improvements made, but the whole problem is T-Mobile's in their marketing crap, deception and lies, bragging, we're first this, we're first. Oh, did you guys just hear? Did you see the announcement today? T-Mobile made a major announcement today. They are launching 5G on Moon 2022.
Come on, Ricky.
There you go. You heard it from me first. I broke the news story.
I think sometimes you got to tune out the Twitter accounts, and all that.
You can't tune that out.
Or else you got to get off of Twitter.
Yeah, you just got to crawl in a hole somewhere.
All right, Ricky, should we do the 5G standards?
Yeah, I mean, we already blew through 35 minutes in no time.
Let's do it, man. Let's
when
go
you
ahead.
have fun and everything like that, so yeah.
Let's do it.
But as everybody knows, 5G has standards and stuff here. So we got, everybody knows NR stands for new radio. And then there's a release. It's like a version number. And right now we're on 16. It just happened. And then 17's coming out soon. So this is just showing what's some stuff going on. With 16, there's non-public networks. So there's actually going to be some 5G networks that's not even going to be public. They're going to be private networks. And of course, band N48, they can use that. It's unlicensed. They don't even have to have a license. So they can put this equipment up and they can have their own private network. And 5G broadcast is coming, 5G positioning, 5G unlicensed. IAB is coming back. I did a live stream a year ago on IAB. It's been enhanced and intensified, and there's a lot of new stuff with it. And then 5G V2X. Well, that stands for Vehicle to Everything. That's what that is. And that's going to be start of your, autonomous driving cars and all that kind of stuff. Your Amazon drones delivering your package and all kinds of stuff. Of course, if anybody could figure out how to deliver a container ship off the ocean with all them ships that's sitting out there, all stacked up there because they can't get in because of stupid California ports over there. Well, that'll be the big money maker there if somebody can figure out how to get those containers off the ship without going into the port. Yeah, and then in Release 17, you got non-terrestrial networks, industrial Internet of Things, side link enhancements and relay. That's pretty cool. Reduced capability, which is all about power saving, positioning enhancements, and then beyond Release 17, you got Release 18 that's going to be coming out, and it's going to do a lot more stuff. So this shows you the 2018 up back here, then 2022, 2022, 4, 6. As you see down here is 5G. The 5G curve is going up, and then up here you got the LTE where we're at now. So we're here, about right here. So the LTE curve is eventually going to go down, start reducing things back in like 2026, 2027. And the actual real 5G stuff that's coming out, the real 5G, is going to actually start really making headlines in 2022, as you see here, with Release 17 coming out. And this Release 16 shows you all these things that's tied into Release 16. Of course, we could talk for hours on here, but but there's just a lot of stuff that's coming out. The industrial parks is going to be doing the 5G thing. And then you got specific deployment scenarios. A lot of the stuff is pretty complicated and it would take hours to explain, but I'll try to just go over it really simple here. 5G integration into Ethernet. So what they're going to do there is they're going to do the 5G into a hard line into these factories and then bridge it out basically. It's basically for like production lines and industrial settings and stuff like that. But there's some really, really cool stuff coming out. If we could ever get real 5G, this stuff is going to be really coming out.
You can't do any of this without a 5G network core, Ricky.
Exactly. This is all pipe dreams right now until we get real 5G. Because, see, the thing is people don't understand. There's a difference between just surfing videos on your phone, doing internet, doing text messages, the basic stuff. LTE has provided that for years with no problem. It's just only because of the congestion they really need for more capacity. So now that we got congestion, now we need more capacity. And at the same time, they figure, well, why don't we just make everything better? And so it's a double thing here. So we got time synchronization, we got traffic characteristics, 5G broadcast is going to be coming. It's really, really pretty cool here.
Yo, Ricky, do you notice all the tower sites that are on that slide?
Oh, yeah.
Densification
Exactly.
is the key.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right.
That's literally a tower site like every half mile, every quarter mile.
Absolutely. And this shows you the trend here, 14, 15, 16, and then we got 17 coming out. Some of this stuff is just like too complicated. Here's the next thing too when release 16 and 17, 5G positioning is coming. 5G is going to actually be able to get the precision down, and this is going to help the first responders. So when you have an officer that's running around out there, they'll know exactly where he is within inches, just because his two-way radio is connected to.
Oh, Ricky,
5G.
They're going to be down to the centimeter.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not only just where you're at on the map, but also your elevation. So if you go into an apartment building, and they can see what floor you're on, so they can see what actually apartment. They'll be able to make it where the apartments will be there. You know, they'll be able to tell the officer, "Oh, you're in the wrong apartment."
Ricky, criminals about to be mad as hell.
Who?
Criminals are going to be mad as hell.
Oh yeah, they're going to be mad, all right. So yeah, it's called NRP is what this is actually called. It's called New Radio Positioning, and the reason why they're moving towards this is just to make everything better, because as we know, GPS is not that reliable, and if you go into buildings, it's not that good, because what happens when you go into a building?
Signal.
The microwave signal doesn't penetrate buildings.
Right.
So therefore, if you got good penetration with the 5G network, then with the small cells and millimeter wave and all that, then you're going to get really good position reports on everything. And this is some of the stuff that it's going to be doing. So let's see. Oh, this shows you the beam forming here. That's why beam forming is going to be very, very important. Massive MIMO beam forming is going to be really important with these new releases, because you can't do all this stuff without it. So the day of the 2x2, 4x4, 6x or 8x8 MIMO that they're running right now is gone.
What about the 64x64, Ricky?
Yep, it's coming.
What about the 128, dog?
Yep, 128's coming. All this massive MIMO is coming. It has to. And then you got the unlicensed spectrum. This is the Wi-Fi 6E band that we're talking about here. So that new Wi-Fi 6E band, you'll be able to use it as unlicensed. They can use up to 100 megahertz. Can you imagine pulling 100 megahertz off of Wi-Fi frequencies?
Yeah,
using the small cells?
Yeah.
It's just an improvement of band 46, basically.
Ricky, band 46 sucks.
Well, it sucks just because it don't have no range, of course.
Right.
But this new standard here, release 16, is actually going to make it better. And plus, it's using two parts of the frequency band, because now you got 100 megahertz. Because the band 46 only uses just a small sliver, like 5, 10, 15 is all it uses, because there wasn't much spectrum of it. But now that Wi-Fi 6E is available, if it's not being used in somebody's house, then these carriers can actually use it in a small cell. And they can use a 100 megahertz chunk. So
That's
can you imagine inside of a building, just putting up a panel inside of a building with a 100 megahertz chunk of
multi-gig speed if you got the
Wi-Fi?
backhaul.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So that's what they're going to do there. And this shows you a little bit more of the new radio. And then the next thing too is in release 16 and 17, there's many more enhances to the IAB, Integrated Access Backhaul. And it is also going to be using enhanced MIMO, massive MIMO. Because as you know, microwave frequencies, like it's on this little dish right here, when you beam it from tower to tower, things can affect it so much because of wind and rain and fog and all that stuff. Well, guess what? Instead of using this type of dish, if you put in here a massive MIMO microwave antenna, which does multiple streams and paths, the reliability gets better, and you can beam it farther.
So let's say it loud to the people in the back.
Okay.
C-band and millimeter wave will be used for backhaul in rural America.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We have to say it loud for the people in the back so they could hear us.
And then you got the new E-band auction coming up too.
I tried to explain to people that millimeter wave is not just urban city centers. It's true. It has way more potential, and there's so much capacity. Verizon has 1,600 megahertz. T-Mobile has 1,000. AT&T's got 1,000, I think, or something like that. These carriers have a ton of bandwidth on these microwave frequencies. And it's not just about the arena and the stadium. I get it. 50, 60,000 people. You want to do capacity there. I got you. But there's more. And the studies are now showing the proper way to create capacity with a 5G network is mid-band and millimeter wave together. You can't just do it with mid-band. It's not even cost effective to only do it with mid-band, let alone the fact that you're going to congest your channels, right? You're going to have to offload with millimeter wave at some point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, let's share this thing again.
Uranus has ultra capacity. Okay, all right.
Do we have to finish any more slides, Ricky?
Yeah, there's just a little bit more.
Okay.
All right. So IAB, this shows you how it is. Okay, UE is user equipment. That's like your phone. And then, well, we start over here. We got the core network over here. We got the IEB donor, which is a macro site. Okay, so it beams it to the phones that's close to the site. And then it's going to beam it over to a small cell. And it's going to turn around. It's going to service a phone right next to it. And then it's going to do a backhaul link, the blue line here, over to the next one. And same thing. It can also shoot it right over to another phone. So it's going to daisy chain it right across, like a relay system. Because think about it. If you have to do fiber from here to here to here, it's very expensive and very time consuming. It takes a long time. I forget what the cost was, like $400,000 or $500,000 per mile to run fiber. And then it takes.
But it's cheap to do
millimeter 3 to 4 wave. Months. Yeah, it's cheaper to do millimeter wave. You
don't need permitting. You're going to have these sites already up.
You beam that crap through the air.
Mm-hmm. Try to tell people millimeter wave is wireless fiber.
Yep. And then here's the big one here. Massive MIMO and beamforming. That is the most important thing of 5G, and that's what we're really lacking. Of course, with low band, you can't have massive MIMO with low band because the antenna would actually be the size of a car. So, but they are going to, by 2025, they're going to have 8x8 MIMO on the low band antennas. That's the carriers that's smart enough and have the money to do it. We know old Trash Mobile will probably stay with their 4x4 MMO.
Hopefully they change.
But right now, AT&T and Verizon are in the works of, they're going to just switch out the low band panels. The whole problem with panels is when you're renting space on a tower, it can be only so many square feet. It can't be too big and it can't be too heavy. If it's too big or too heavy, they won't let you put it on there. And plus, it can affect the wind load of the tower and make the tower fall down.
Oh, yeah, they insure them and they have to meet a spec.
So, yeah, so you're talking about wind load and all that kind of stuff. So, as technology is getting better, now we can go to lighter antennas that have massive MIMO and that are smaller antennas and they're more powerful antennas, just like the new stuff that they're putting out now, the 3268 antenna by Ericsson. That thing can do 200 megahertz.
Ricky, have you seen the new gear from Samsung? Dude, everything is small, tiny, light, like 20 kilograms or less.
Yeah. Yeah, the weight is a lot less. Absolutely. And that's what's going to help things out. And it's more power efficient, too. So it's going to save money on the electric bill. Because if they can save $1,000 a month on an electric bill, you times that by 25,000 towers, how much money is that?
They're also saying that some of the gear is going to be without active power, the repeaters, for example. Yeah. So then they could just attach them onto whatever sites and all these little things they can clip on.
Yeah.
And they don't need active power. They don't even need a meter.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we got the multi-beam operation, and all this is going to help with the biggest thing with beamforming and the massive MIMO is latency, getting that ping down. So once we start trying to get all these technology done, we're going to get some good pings. But until then, we're going to have LTE pings. Even though you see that 5G signal or icon there, it's still, it's still LTE. But things will get better. We just all got to be patient. It's going to happen. And then you got vehicle to everything here. This kind of shows you that. What's cool about this vehicle to everything, you know what the main thing that this is going to do? They're actually going to make the cars with a node in it. And it's actually going to be it's like an Echo 5G or a Pivot 5G.
It's literally a mobile hotspot.
It's going to be a repeater, basically.
Yep.
It grabs the millimeter wave or the C-band, and it rebroadcasts it in a circle around the vehicle, like a 100-foot circle around the vehicle. And if you got a whole bunch of cars everywhere, you got continuous handoffs. So if you get in a shadow where there's no tower signal, no problem, because the cars are going to repeat itself. And then, of course, the next step after this will be when actual 6G comes out in the future. Your phone is going to be the node. So your phone is going to have a repeater system. It's going to be a cell site. Your phone is going to be a cell site. So once we get up to where we got 5 gigabits of downlink, most people can't use that much. So what they're going to do is they're going to rebroadcast it with your phone. If somebody's near you and say, hey, I need some fast speed right now, who's closest to me with fast speed? Then my phone will say, hey, I'm not using my phone, you can use my data. It'll connect, and then you can download off of it. So there's some pretty cool stuff that's going to be coming out in the future. It's going to blow everybody's mind what's coming up next in the next few years. But this vehicle to everything is going to be pretty cool. The cars is driving themselves and anti-collision, and they're going to have technology built into it. When a fire truck or a police car comes up behind you, it's going to tell you, hey, there's a fire truck coming up behind you. Get the hell out of the way.
Ricky, you got Carlos going crazy right now.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
Yeah, some people aren't into all this connectivity, man.
I know.
I think they came to the wrong podcast.
Absolutely, they did. But yeah, this is the technology that's being released out and everything. So, yeah, they're trying to push us in electric cars, get rid of our V8s and all that stuff. I'm not happy about that either. I want my V8. But this shows you kind of the parameters that you have to have on this vehicle to everything. Look where we're here. The LTE, look at this. 16 QAM, look at there. Go up to here. 64. See, that was release 15. Now look, release 16 and 17, look at this. 16 QAM, 64, 256. So
all that's the antenna technology, isn't it, Ricky?
yeah, that's the modulation.
Yeah,
It's compression of the digital packets that makes it more efficient. And then, of course, you got, look at the speeds, see? 7, 32, 72, 200. So as things go on, you have to have real 5G and real 5G specs to do all this technology. And then you got the 7 pillars of 5G here. All this stuff needs to be done. The OFDM, that's just a digital modulation scheme.
This is all the scheduling, Ricky.
Higher output, low latency.
Ricky, that's all
Broadcast.
scheduling right there.
Yep. Quality of service management, beamforming support, channel structure. So all this stuff has to be enhanced in 5G before we get anywhere with it. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is just like too complicated, but some of this stuff is like really good. And then you got the side link. This is what I was talking about, the side link. Here's a tower. See here, it's broadcasting this car. It's broadcasting this car. Look here, this car. All of a sudden, this car loses the tower. It doesn't have a signal. This car says, "Oh, I got you, buddy," and he beams the internet right to that car. So there you go. And then even if you don't, in an area where there's no internet, the cars can still talk to each other. Like if this one's getting ready to rear end this one, say, "Hey, buddy, I'm getting ready to get you up the ass. Get out of the way." Then we got interface profile. This is just all more complicated stuff with all this stuff. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is just like very, very complicated. So I'm not gonna waste my time talking too much about it, but just show you what's coming. And then here's like red lights. See here, traffic lights, traffic management. So this is going to be nice for like fire trucks and police cars. So they would say, hey, you know, emergency vehicles coming through. And it's going to warn these people. Say, hey, stop. It's going to change the lights, and then it's going to tell these cars, emergency vehicles coming. All kinds of stuff here.
The side link is interesting. I wonder when that gets perfected.
We got to have 5G first. So here's release 17. This shows you what this is, the release 16 in this circle, and then this stuff here is all the stuff in the release 17 that they're working on now. See here, IAB, massive MIMO. There's a lot of important things in here. DSS enhancement, that's coming out in revision 17. So
see, here's the thing, Running Flame. If your connections have an ultra low latency, even at its worst, you might get 3 to 5 milliseconds. At its worst.
Yep. And then the next big thing is non-terrestrial networks. Satellite is going to be integrated into 5G.
Yep, we saw the deals with Verizon.
Yep.
And
They're already working on it. That's another standard in release 17 that came out. So you're going to have satellites providing, it's going to help in service in the remote areas during hurricanes when everything is knocked out on terrestrial side. Cruise ships, they're going to be able to put a transmitter on a bird. See, I bet you T-Mobile is going to be the first one to put this transmitter on a bird. And Neville's going to say, we put the first 5G transmitter on a bird.
Hey, Ricky, which cell phone provider would you invest in for this, right? T-Mobile?
No. Negative. So here's the non-terrestrial network in one slide here. Basically, got device, got low speed, got pedestrian ships, medium high-speed trains, very high-speed unmanned aircraft systems, spaceborne satellites, geostationary, low Earth orbit, all kinds of stuff. 5G sides. Of course, we got Starlink already winding up pretty good here. So, and OneWeb is launching some stuff too. So they're going to be going up here pretty soon too. But also in the X65 modem, I don't know if anybody knows, but band N53 is going to be in the X65 modem, and that's Globalstar's satellite band for their satellite phones.
Which band?
N53.
53, that's right. That was the one they thought were going to be the LEO satellite for the iPhone, right?
Yeah, but when they come out with the X60 modem, not the X65 modem, yeah, don't get it.
Ricky, you excited about the S22?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it should have the X65 modem in it, either the 880 or what's the
895.
Yeah, 895 or 898. They don't know which it is, but it'll be one of them too. But,
oh, they haven't named it yet?
Well, they don't know yet. Yeah, it's still kind of
maybe
early.
Internally it's been named.
Yeah. They don't know the name. They know it's coming out and what the specs are kind of, but they haven't actually, Qualcomm hasn't actually said the name on it. But we got satellite stuff. Let's see what else. Oh, industrial Internet of Things. It's pretty boring to most of you guys out there unless you work into a field that has this. But you see release 16 and 17 coming out. This is all very important for all that stuff. So Internet of Things enhancement, quality of service. See, that's the thing, quality of service. You got to get this 5G, the quality of service up on 5G. So, and you can't do that with crap deployments and split modem and stuff like T-Mobile does. Put all that bandwidth out there, and instead of doing 64 by 64, you're doing 32 by 32, because 32 is on LTE and 32 is on 5G. And then everybody's wondering why you can't get you go a mile down the road and you lose the 2.5 gigahertz N41 tower because it's not optimized. It's not being, they won't use DSS. See, if they would use DSS, then they could use the full 64 by 64 on LTE and 5G at the same time. But T-Mobile don't have the money to deploy that. So they're strapped for cash, but they keep giving away plans and phones and pink thongs and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, as long as you keep giving stuff away to keep your customers from going away, you're never going to make any money, and you're never going to be able to build a great network.
Their ARPU is the same as Dish's. Like the Boost Mobile, that's at $39.20 some cents.
Wow. And then here's another thing about side link enhancements and relay. Yeah, this shows you more about that. You know, car to car. Yeah, it's going to make it a lot safer out there. Cars won't collide. Heck, they may even make the cars where that has an alcohol breath sampler in the car. So if you're driving the car, it smells the breath on your alcohol. It says you're intoxicated and shut your car down. You won't even be able to drive it.
Less accidents, Ricky?
Yep, less accidents. And then here's what I was talking about too, where you got the NR relay system here. You got the tower here. You got somebody up on a mountaintop on their phone, and then somebody's on the other side of the mountain over here. They can't even connect to this tower, but this phone will relay, like a node, the internet from there down to them. So that's kind of an example of how
chipset demand, battery demand. How's it going to play out, Ricky?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Well, you know what we need to do in America? We need to start building factories in America and start building our crap here. We're depending too much on China. That's what's killing us right now. Yep. Quality of service. Let's see, mapping. Oh, check this out here. Various scenarios. Yeah, look here. See, tower to phone. Look, you're outside the coverage. This is a T-Mobile tower. See here? T-Mobile's right here. You're right here. Well, your buddy's over here. He's between the towers, so guess what? He has no service. But now with NR Relay, you can connect to this guy's phone. You still have service. So NR Relay is really going to help T-Mobile out. Yeah. How do you like that?
Good stuff.
Reduce capability. This is power saving. Yeah, there's a big thing about saving power. So like at nighttime when there's no capacity on the tower, it'll actually, shut down parts of the transmitters instead of going, uses beamforming. So when you're using beamforming, it shoots the signal to that one phone that's on the network. If there's no other phones on there, all the rest of the transmitters will just shut down. And then, of course, when one transmits to it, it'll wake up and say, oh, hi, and then it'll beam a signal to that phone, and then you're good. So, and saving a lot of money. So if you're going to save $1,000 a month on your electric bill on each tower site, and you got 25,000 tower sites, that's basically $25,000 a month that you're going to save on tower sites. So that money can be reused to build out your, build small cells or whatever you want to do. So that's basically what reduced capability means. Power saving. Very, very important. And that's what they're actually doing on these phones. That's why these phones, I like my phone, I'm getting 12 hours of battery time on this thing. I mean, it's crazy. A super duper phone like this gets 12 hours. It's because this thing here, if something's not being used, it shuts it down. That way it doesn't drain your battery so fast. So it only puts power to what it needs to. And then, your frame rate. When my screen's off, does it need to be running 120 hertz? No, it don't. So it slows down to 1 hertz. So it saves battery, and everything. So what else we got here? Yeah, this is talking more about the location-based stuff, using beamforming to figure that out. Oh, here's release 18 kickoff. Okay, now this is release 8. This is what they're working on now for the future. Also, this is a couple years out.
Yeah, but those are definitely not finalized. Release 18.
Oh no, we're all work in progress. But this is just this is kind of like everything we've talked about already too. But this is all this stuff, vehicle to everything. I mean, they're going to be using 60 gigahertz to talk to unlicensed band. Up to all the way up to 114 gigahertz.
Ricky, where's the terahertz at, dog?
Yeah, well, terahertz is coming in 6G. It is, yeah. They're already working on that.
What's the power of transmission for
It ain't
terahertz?
very much, and the range ain't very good either. So, higher you go in frequency, the less the range you have. So, that's why you have to have more transmitters.
They're going to be cooking, Ricky.
That's why they got to move everything to cars and phones to rebroadcast, because that's the only way you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Differential positioning using a DAS. DAS is a dynamic antenna system.
Yeah.
Yep. Beyond 5G. Oh, Lord. I don't even want to talk about that. Yeah, look at here. 5G phase 1. Look at
So
here.
you got the kickoff of 6G as the sunset
this
of
is
LT.
fake 5G right here. Phase 1 is fake 5G.
What about phase 2?
Phase 2 is half 5G, fake 5G. And then we're going up here to phase 2 plus. Then we're going to say, oh, now we're going to start releasing 5G. So we're getting some real 5G.
But Ricky, look at the timeline.
I know.
You got the 6G kicking off and LT starting to set.
Yep, exactly. And look at there. By 2030, 5G is going to be going crazy. T-Mobile will be bankrupt. The skunk apes won't have nothing to eat. They'll starve. They'll fall off the trees and die. Trends to higher frequencies and wider bandwidths will continue. Band extension for... Oh, God. Signal and spectrum analyzer up to 8.3 gigahertz. And look at here.
The skunk apes are going to die.
And look at here, sub-terahertz ultra-wideband signal analysis. Yeah, so that's all coming up. Look at that, it's crazy.
Okay, so it said in the last slide, 5G is a marathon, not a race.
Yeah.
But who's winning the 5G race, Ricky?
Nobody, really. It's all raccoonery, buffoonery. The only people as close is Verizon. I know people hate Verizon because they don't have no range, and all that stuff. It's not deployed very much. But you know what? It's still 5G. I would say it's half 5G, actually. But until you get standalone, of course, I know everybody's going to say, well, T-Mobile already has standalone. Yeah, baloney. They always say they have everything. So the thing is, if you're going to do something standalone, that means you don't have no help from LTE. Right now, LTE is like 80% of your speed and latency and everything. So you cut out 80% of LTE out, and now you're left with 20% standalone. What are you going to have?
Well, Ricky, the bottom line is the network core is LTE.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple as that. The services can't run without LTE. If you turn off LTE, you turn off your 5G.
Yeah. Man, I just got so much information here. I got some really good stuff here. Talk about complicated. Look at this. This thing here is like, you just about have to be an engineer to even look at this stuff here. I was reading something through this today. Amazing stuff here. Crazy. Oh, here. Look at all these. You got to go to school just learn all these terms and glossaries and stuff here. Yeah. I wonder if Caleb. Hey, Caleb, do you know all these? Do you got all these memorized? You got all these? 3GPP?
Probably not. You probably have to refer to them every so often, right?
Yeah. I mean, the common ones that you use every day, you probably have memorized. But so that's pretty much that. And then there's some other things. I can't put this on the slide because it's copyrighted, so I can't put that on the slide. But I can share with a couple things it says on here, which is pretty. Let me go back up to the top here. There's some stuff on here that says it's really brings you into reality of what's going on here. Let's see here. It says here, 2025, global mobile data traffic will be between 3 times to 9.5 times that of in 2020. 5G accounting for almost half of the total. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Everything's going to be taking the show on the mobile side.
Yeah, video is what's pushing everything over the edge as far as...
Yeah, but the capacity will be fine because they'll be optimizing the efficiency of the spectrum. They'll be adding more spectrum, more sites. The technologies that'll be able to do more with the spectrum, right? So what you could do with 100 megahertz today will not be what you could do with it next year and the year after and the year after.
And it says here, to meet the capacity requirements that's needed in 2025, operators worldwide will need to secure significant amounts of additional spectrum, which that's what they're doing, and invest in technology enhancements. What is that? Increased sectorism and high-order MIMO. and densify their networks. That has to be done by 2025.
You know what's crazy, Ricky? Like, take for example, like Verizon is going to be doing 15 to 17,000 nodes per year.
Yep.
For millimeter wave. AT&T's densifying with C-RAN and small cells and nodes. And then I just saw the T-Mobile, what is that thing? They gave like an update about the network. They went from 50 plus thousand small cells. They're down to 38,000.
Yep.
So they went the other way.
Yep, exactly.
They're getting rid of small cells when they should be increasing the number of small cells.
Yep.
I argued that whatever small cells Sprint had up and running, they should just leave and upgrade.
Yeah, that was the biggest mistake they did.
Yeah.
You don't decrease the density. That is the most stupidest thing a carrier can do.
Even if you're not going to need it technically for another year, just leave it up, because you're going to have to shut it down, decommission, and then you're going to have to apply for a new permit later when you're going to have to densify again anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been aggravating. I've been trying to, think about it objectively. How are they going to do this from macros? And you just simply cannot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, you can't put a macro on every rooftop.
Okay, here's another interesting point here. Okay, a rule of thumb is 64 by 64 MIMO can deliver 3.3 times more capacity per megahertz than 2 by 2. Some of the capacity gains from MIMO can be trade-off for improved coverage in urban areas, allowing for higher midbands to behave like lower midbands. By 2025, 128 by 128 massive MIMO will be part of the general configuration in higher TDD midbands, with 32 by 32 MIO and higher FDD.
What do you think about the gear that's coming out for C-band and the 2.5, the EBS BRS?
For AT&T and Verizon's looking great.
What about what Nokia has and what Ericsson has for T-Mobile with the EBS BRS?
Well, if they do it right.
What I'm asking is, do you know about the hardware?
Do it right, but someone told me on the inside that they plan on doing the massive MIMO coming up soon.
Oh, so that's not what's going up on the tower sites right now.
No, it's 64 by 64 on N41.
Okay.
And they're splitting it by 32 on LTE, 32 on 5G. That's why it's crap.
Split mode radio?
Yeah, split mode.
Today?
Yeah.
I thought that's what Sprint was doing.
Yeah, they were doing it too.
So T-Mobile's doing the same thing.
Yeah. Because they won't use DSS.
They do claim that the DSS is a losing proposition.
Yeah. Well, DSS on low band's a waste of time. They should have used the DSS on mid band. AT&T and Verizon is guilty of that. But you know what? You know the reason why they did that?
AT&T does do DSS with mid-band here.
Well, eventually they will be, yeah.
No, they're doing N2.
They started with low band first, though.
We don't have, AT&T doesn't have band 5 here.
Yeah.
So they do N2 here. It's 20 megahertz, so they're splitting it. Or they're running the DSS, and it's okay. It's fine. It's no different than the LT, Ricky. You know how it goes.
Yep.
But their band 5 is outside of the county, where they run the 5 megahertz of the low band. Yeah, outside of the county. Here, Verizon has the band 5. They run 10 megahertz DSS. Stupid.
And then also says here that deploying 4x4 MIO and sub-gigahertz band generates capacity gains in an order of 60% over 2x2. This is especially significant when the importance of low bands support cell edge users, given that roughly a third of all 4G traffic is currently carried by low bands. So true. And 2025, it says 8x8 massive MIMO. Well, it's not really massive. It's just regular MIMO. Will be part of the configuration for low band. They have to do that. If they keep the 4x4 up, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. They'll probably go back and do that after they get all their mid-band upgrades done. Now, I think Verizon has done 8x8 on some of their band, because they're big on band 13. That's their main thing. So.
That's their coverage band.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's slow, man.
Yeah,
everybody's on
that's
it. Every
one bad
device is
thing.
on there, and
A dense
they haven't.
mid-band is going to be the win.
Yeah.
Dense mid-band is going to be the win. Massive MIMO with beamforming.
I think these C-RAN sites are the truth. The ones that have the millimeter wave, the CBRS, all the LT combos, which, currently, it's like PCS, AWS, 13, 5. They do everything at these C-RAN sites. And they put them in these spots where the signal is weak, so they cover up the dead spot, and then they add capacity at the same time.
Oh, yeah. So do we have any questions in here in the chat? I haven't actually been looking at chat, just...
No, not really. Everybody's kind of talking about, so there's what I was saying, Ricky, N2 in some markets. That's what we got here. Once you go outside of the county, AT&T's got the band 5 dedicated for 5G. So same thing in PA. It's nothing to write home about, dude. It's fine.
Don't have
AT&T
the bandwidth,
does,
but at least if they put massive MIMO up on band 2, it's going to help. And band 66, it's going to help.
Well, they just upgraded a lot of sites to band 14 here. So we got a ton more capacity and coverage, because that's a 10x10 channel.
Yeah. And I don't know what AT&T's putting up on band 14 for first. I don't know if they're doing 4x4 or they're doing 8x8. I think they're only doing 4x4, which...
It's good upgrades.
Not really a good thing.
It's good upgrades, Ricky, because these sites didn't have that spectrum before, and it didn't have the gear. But they'll have to go up and upgrade it eventually, especially when they go to 5G on it.
Like what they're saying here, by 2025, you have to do at least 8x8 on low band, or you're going to be behind.
I bet you the Verizon gear that's going up now is 8x8.
It probably is.
For the low band. And I bet you everything mid-band that's coming from Samsung, all that stuff will be massive MIMO.
Yep.
And I can't speak to the Ericsson markets out there because I'm a Samsung market. We used to be Nokia. And they're ripping all the Nokia gear out, and they're doing all Samsung on Verizon.
Yep.
AT&T is Nokia here, and I think T-Mobile's also Nokia here. So this used to be a completely Nokia market. Now Samsung's in the fold, and I like the Samsung gear. Their nodes for millimeter wave are great. The CBRS is really good. I like the solutions they have for those street lights. I don't know if you've seen any of that, Ricky.
Yeah.
It's really cool,
pretty
dude.
Cool.
It's small. It's high capacity. It's relatively affordable. I guess these Verizon millimeter wave setups, Ricky, are costing Verizon $15,000.
It's not too bad.
No, it's not, because if you wanted to cover a mile, so what would you need? Probably 5 nodes or something to cover a mile stretch of a street.
Yeah,
You're under $100,000, and you can monetize that. Every street's going to get millimeter wave 5G home. Plus the offload of the LTE and the offload of the mid-band channels. You're dealing with the congestion.
Carlos says, you better hit that like button and subscribe.
Straight up.
Yeah. All the new small cells going up here are AT&T. Yeah, they're kicking it.
All right, Ricky.
AT&T
we're going to wrap
has
up the show.
density.
I really only wanted to be on for 30, but you see where we ended up.
Yeah, it's just when you're having fun, it's not kind of hard to...
You wanna do something this weekend?
Well, I guess let's see. Well, I'm working.
Working the
Friday.
weekends?
Yeah, I'm working 8 o'clock Friday, 8 o'clock Saturday, 11 o'clock on Sunday. So the only way Sunday would work is if it was a really early show. That way I can still get to work.
All right, what we'll do is we'll shoot for a next Thursday. We'll see if we can bring on some of the talking heads. Maybe we'll bring on Zero Cool.
Yeah,
we'll bring
I
on
think
Carlos.
I'm going to schedule myself off Thursday next week. See, I do my own schedule, so I'm the supervisor, so I do my own schedule. So
nice. If you can do Thursday, we'll bring you back, dude. And we'll
we
do
can
this
talk
again.
about some more stuff. And maybe next time what we'll do is we'll focus more on the people and answer their questions and stuff too. So
sure, and we'll call it an AMA and ask me anything.
I mean, there's nothing to get 100 comments with questions, and we'll just do a question and answer such a and then when something needs to explain, I got the resource there. I can show it.
Excellent.
That's
All right, Ricky.
That's the whole thing about this technology. You know, we're here to help you guys and clear the smoke so you can see what's really happening. You know, there's deception and lies out there. There's fake 5G out there. There's real 5G out there, and it's our job to show you what the difference is and what's coming.
Mark says, "How come you're not driving around, bruh? This isn't the Sneed I know, dog." I'm tired, bro. I gotta go to sleep. I got work in the morning. Come on, Mark.
Oh yeah, I'm off tonight. I'm ready to watch some TV.
So big shout out to Ricky. Everybody, go and subscribe to RFK Tech USA. Is that the full?
Yeah.
Okay, RFK Tech USA on YouTube. He's on Twitter as well, so you guys can follow him there.
Yeah.
He's a staple of the SMT community, one of my biggest supporters. He has been for a long time. Never stopped. He's always been there. And, he's been busy, but we're glad to have him back. And, Ricky, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, and check out the live streams. I have all the live streams that I did last year. I post them back up. So they're there for you to watch. There's some good information in there.
All right, Ricky, what's your hashtag for this episode of the SMT Podcast?
Dump skunk.
So if you guys want, Ricky's hashtag is going to be hashtag dumb skunk. I'm gonna go hashtag real 5G for this one.
There we go. Yeah, real 5G.
Hashtag real 5G. If you're a real one and you watch this all the way through. Hashtag ravioli gang if you're eating dinner. Hashtag 2Live crew if you're watching this while we're broadcasting. Hashtag replay crew if you were watching it after the fact. Hashtag mod squad for all the blue wrenches out there. And thank you guys for all that you do. Thanks for supporting. And we'll hopefully have a stream for you guys over the weekend. I might do a drive test, some capacity testing. We'll see how it goes this weekend.
Sweet.
Ricky, anything for the good of the order?
That's it. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your LTE.
And we out this piece. Peace.
Good night.